If you haven't heard, YouTube is making it harder to get monetized. And I'm making money from YouTube without being monetized. So what am I doing that many small creators aren't? I'm not treating AdSense like it's the whole point because I think a lot of creators are looking at YouTube completely backward. AdSense is the icing on the cake. But if AdSense is the only part of the cake you're baking, we have a problem. If you haven't heard the news, YouTube is changing the requirements around monetization beginning next February 2027, and people are upset. They're worried that they're going to have to work even harder before they can make any money from their channel. And I'm sitting here thinking, that change didn't even faze me. And that's because I never started my YouTube channel with the goal of making AdSense my primary source of income. I started YouTube because I have a business, and YouTube is one of the ways I market that business. There's a huge difference. So let me give you a visual because I think this makes the whole thing much easier to understand. Imagine you're baking a cake, and your business is that cake. And AdSense is the icing. I like icing. I'm not saying I don't want the icing. If YouTube eventually sends me money every month because people are watching my videos, fantastic. I'll take the icing. But I'm not going to stand in my kitchen staring at an empty cake pan saying, well, I can't make any money until YouTube gives me that icing. You need to bake that cake first. So what goes into my cake? Your YouTube channel should demonstrate that you know what you're talking about. And for me, that's emotional healing, mental health, faster EFT, overwhelm, helping people change thoughts and patterns that they feel are keeping them stuck. That's what I do. I'm not just telling people I'm the expert. I'm demonstrating it. So every video is another opportunity for someone to experience how I think, how I teach, how I explain things, and how I help. That's authority. That is one of the most powerful things YouTube can do for a service provider. YouTube is your digital storefront. But unlike a physical storefront, people can walk into your store at 2 o'clock in the morning. They can browse, they can watch you, they can listen to you. They can get a feel for your personality. They can decide whether they trust you. And by the time they contact you, you're not a complete stranger trying to convince them that you're qualified. You've already demonstrated it. Your videos need to solve a problem. Don't make every video a commercial for yourself. Teach, help, provide value. Give them something that they could actually use. Because here's what happens when you consistently give away valuable information. People begin thinking, if this is what she gives away for free, imagine what it would be like to actually work with her. That's the bridge between content and business. And this is where I think some people get nervous. Like they'll make 100 videos and never tell anybody they actually have a business. If you aren't marketing, you don't have a business. You have a hobby that you're hoping will make money someday. And marketing doesn't mean consistently saying, buy my thing. It means letting people know, here's what I do, here's who I help, here's how you can work with me. You cannot expect people to become your clients if they don't even know you have something to offer. Now, this one might even be more important than the subscribers, because here's the uncomfortable truth about social media. You don't own your audience. YouTube can change the algorithm at any time, and it always does. It can change its policies. It can change its monetization requirements like they're doing now. It can change what gets recommended. But when someone gives you their email address because you offered them something genuinely valuable, now you have a direct relationship. So create a free resource, something that solves a problem. Give it away in exchange for an email address, and then nurture that relationship. Don't immediately bombard them with sales pitches. You need to build trust, tell stories, Teach, help, let them get to know you. This is another piece of my cake. I have a low-ticket product. It's my Overwhelmed to Calm toolkit. It's not a $2,000 program. I don't even have a $2,000 program. So that toolkit, it's not a huge commitment. It's simply another way someone can take the next step with me. And this is important because not everyone who watches your video is ready to become a high-ticket client, and that's okay. Give them a smaller step. Let them experience your work. Let them become a customer, and a customer is different from a viewer. Let's say you're a therapist or a practitioner like myself. Let's say you make a video about managing anxiety before a job interview. One person watches it and decides they want to download your free guide. They join your email list, eventually buy a $37 workshop, and maybe 3 months later, they decide to book a therapy package with you worth $1,500. That one viewer just generated more revenue than probably 50,000 views worth of AdSense. That's the math many small creators are not doing. And here's where I want to introduce something that I think a lot of service providers aren't even considering. What if there was another ingredient you could add to your cake, but something that makes this cake just a little bit more special? Think chocolate chips, pecans, something that adds just another layer, little extra something to what you've already created. So instead of only getting paid when you land a new client, what if some of the marketing that you're already doing could also create income that continues month after month? I've done a whole separate video on this concept and I'll link it below. But I want you to start thinking about this. You're already creating content. You're already building relationships. You're already recommending things you believe in. What if that activity could work harder for you? That's a different way of looking at your business, and it's worth exploring. Because once you start thinking about your business this way, you begin to see opportunities you might not have seen before. So you've got your cake, you've got the ingredients that make your business work, you've got the icing, and maybe you've got a few chocolate chips or pecans in there that create a little extra sweetness every single month. And personally, I like cake with chocolate chips. So let's go back to that cake for a moment. You've got your expertise, you've got your value, your services, your low ticket offer, your email list, your nurturing. What I just described right there, that's a marketing funnel. And then eventually, someone raises their hand and says, I want to work with you. That's the cake. And then you put the icing on it. That's the AdSense. You don't need 1 million views if the right 100 people are watching. Think about that. If one person watches your video, resonates with what you're saying, goes to your website, downloads your free resources, buys your little toolkit, and eventually becomes a client, that one viewer may be worth far more to your business than 10,000 or random views generating ad revenue. And that's why I'm not panicking about the new YouTube numbers. I'm sitting here with under 1,000 subscribers. My watch hours aren't anywhere close to 4,000, let alone 8,000. And you know what? I'm still making money from YouTube because YouTube is sending me people, and those people are finding my services. That's the business model. So if you're one of those that's upset about the new requirements, I'm not telling you that your frustration isn't valid. If your business model is built around YouTube ad revenue, then yes, these changes matter. But I want you to ask yourself a different question. What if YouTube isn't the business? What if YouTube is the marketing department of your business? Because when you look at it that way, everything changes. You're no longer obsessing over how many subscribers do I have? How many watch hours do I have? You're asking, am I attracting the right people? Am I demonstrating my expertise? Am I solving problems? Am I giving people a way to work with me? Am I building my email list? Am I turning viewers into customers? Those are business questions, and those are the questions I think service providers should be asking. Because here's what I believe. YouTube is not just a place to get views. It's a place to build authority, to build trust, demonstrate your expertise, a place to introduce people to your personality and philosophy, and ultimately, it's a place to invite the right people into your business. You don't need everyone. You need the people who need what you do. That's why I want you to stop thinking about YouTube as a slot machine where you pull the lever and hope that YouTube pays you. Think of it as your storefront. Every video gives someone another reason to walk through your door. And your job isn't simply to get them to walk through the door. Your job is to give them a reason to stay. So if you're a coach, a therapist, a healer, or a service provider watching this, I want you to think about your own cake. What are your ingredients? Are you demonstrating your expertise? Are you capturing leads? Do you have a way for people to buy from you? And are you actually marketing your business? Because if you're waiting for YouTube to monetize you before you start making money, your cake is sitting there half-baked. Finish the cake. Add the chocolate chips. Let YouTube bring the right people to your table. And if that idea of getting paid to market yourself caught your attention, I've done an entire video on it, and I'll put it right here. And I'll see you in the next one.